Hello, everyone. This is Professor Maloney, and today I'm going to be recording another video, and this one is going to deal with doing the Microsoft Excel training modules. Just like with Word, there are going to be 4 modules in Excel, and just like with Word, there's going to be a lot of tasks. If you recall the module we did on Windows 10, there were only 21 tasks, I believe. And then with Word, it went up to 126. And with Excel, it's going to go up to 135. Excel is a more difficult application than Word. Excel is all about spreadsheets, and spreadsheets are all about using numbers, creating charts out of numbers, doing formulas on numbers, making data or making sense out of numbers, using inventories, using sales, using taxes, using discount rates, anything where you're throwing numbers together. That's what Excel is all about. Now, I've already done an Excel overview video, and that was a 1-hour video, and it's available for your viewing pleasure. It may not be viewing pleasure, though, to some of you, but either way, you may watch it. It's about 1 hour, and it's in the course videos by Professor Maloney, link in Blackboard. Okay, so for this one, because I've already created and provided an Excel overview video for you, I'm just going to start right in with Excel, so I won't be talking as much about what Excel is doing. You can watch my Excel overview video. Again, it's in the course videos created by Professor Maloney, link in Blackboard. All right. Okay, so for now, let's go on over to one of the classes. As you know, I'm teaching several CGS 1060 classes this term, the spring term. I always do in the spring term, teach several. The fall term, I do more other things, although I have an advanced desktop class too, but in any event, so you can go over to, it doesn't matter which class I'm in. Remember that I always tell you that you have to look at your class, you look at your schedule, syllabus and schedule of activities to see when your schedule is for everything, including Excel. And you can also go into MindTap. It doesn't matter which class I have up here. Basically, Excel is due in virtually every class somewhere between March 14th and March 21st. So you click on your Students Start Here link, okay? And then you click on Students Click Here. That brings you over to MindTap. And then when you get to MindTap, remember that you then have to just click, Excel to see what's going on. So let me collapse it all and then open up Excel. Don't worry about when the exam is. Again, that's based on your class. This may be your class, but it may be one of the other 2 classes, okay? All right. So I'm going to get into Excel. First, I do need to verify, though, that I am recording this thing. So let's see in here, make sure I'm recording. I am recording. Make sure I'm sharing. I am sharing. So all is good there, okay? All right, so now I'm going to go over to Excel. And in Excel, I'm going to start with Excel Module 1. Okay, again, don't worry about when it's due. This is the due date for one class. Other classes might be the 16th or the 17th or the 20th or 21st or whatever, depending on how many days off you've had this term, depending on when the class started, etc. Okay, so in Excel, I will demonstrate probably 7 tasks in each. All right, start. So there's 38 tasks in the first module. All right, and let's see, make this bigger. All right, so center the contents of cell C3 horizontally. All right, so first of all, where is cell C3? Well, this is the C column, and this is the 3 row. So where they come together is C3. Like right here is C1. Look in the name box. Okay, that's C1. This is C2, right? And the next one here is C3, and that's what we're looking for, C3, and center the contents horizontally. So you go to the alignment group on the Home tab, and this is the center in the middle align, okay? Oh, silly me. I have 2, I'm sorry. It's your paragraph group, so it's just center align, okay? So centered alignment, okay? All right, hide the grid lines in the current worksheet. So the grid lines are available from your view button. Okay, and again, how do you find out these things? You do your trainings. You do your trainings. Okay, but in the view button, view tab, you'll see everything that's showing has check marks. So there's grid lines, there's a ruler, there's formula bar, there's headings. Okay, so to hide the grid lines, I just deselect that checkbox. But what are they? They're all these lines you see. Okay, because Excel, every worksheet, this is a worksheet down here called income statement. Every worksheet is composed of literally 100,000 cells. I mean, I go from A to Z, and then it goes from AB to AZ, then it goes from AC to AZ, AD, every from A through Z, and then every B from A through Z, then every C from A through Z, etc. And it's literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cells. And going up and down, it's literally, tens of thousands of rows. So in any event, just hide the grid lines. You just come over here to the view and click the checkbox that's already checked, and then that deselects it. Okay, so that is what it does. All right. Now use the tell me box to change the fill color of cells in range B4 to D4 to a particular color, which is black text 1, and they tell us it's theme colors, the top row, the second option. Okay. All right, so the first thing is they want us to use the tell me box. The tell me box is this thing right up here. Okay, so they're telling us to do that and to change the fill color. And fill color they've sort of got with a dark background, so that's what we want to type into the the tell me box. Okay, but the first thing we do is select the range, because if you don't select the range, then it doesn't know what to tell you. So they want us to select from B4 to D4. Well, here's B again. Here's 4. Check the name box, and you see B4. Okay, so this is C4, and this is D4. So when they say B4 colon D4, that means select from B4 and drag over to D4. Okay. How do you drag? You get the white hollow cursor view, click in B4, hold the mouse button down, and drag directly to the left. Like you can also be going down and over, but it's just the 4th row from B to D. All right. So now that that is done, now I go to the tell me box and click, and I type fill color. That's all. So that's what they type. Okay. Now, when I type fill color, they're now saying to change the fill color to black text 1. So it's in theme color. So now look at fill color. Okay. And here's theme colors. They're saying the top row, second option. So this is the top row. Oh, shoot. I clicked the wrong one. Sorry. So let's go again. Fill color. And then you click your arrow. And then the first row, the top row, second selection is this one, black text 1. So you click it. Okay, done. All right, 4th one. Task instructions. Select cell D22. So again, and this is one of the things I pointed out in the Excel overview video, the 1-hour overview video that's, again, available for you anytime you want to watch it. All right. But cells in Excel are always going to start with a column and then a row, okay, where they intersect. So for column D, that's here, and row 22, that's down here. So you just kind of go over in the row until you get to the D, or down in the D until you get to the number. And once you click it, first of all, you just verify it. But, in that particular one, because it's just that one click, it's not going to stay there. So, but all I did was do D, select cell D22. All right, click it. I clicked in it. All right, I said I'd do 7 or so in each. All right, so in this one, next one is task 5. In cell J5, so again, here's J, and here's 5. So cell J5, there's nothing in it right now. They want me to type in it, so I'm going to click it. So now I'm in it. Right? Enter the value 77112 as text. Okay, so technically in Excel, if you type 77112, that's a number, like in this number group. Okay, and you use numbers. You can have currency, you can have regular numbers, the comma style, you can have percentages, but numbers you can use in calculations. And that again is what Excel is primarily all about. But when you have a phone number, you don't want that to be set up as a number that could be used in a calculation. And when you have a zip code, you don't want that to be used as a number either, because it's only used for text. So to make 77112 as text, you preface the number by typing a single quote and then type 77112. In other words, so I'm in cell J5. Again, look in the name box and it tells you where you are. I'm in J5. And then I type a single quote. The single quote mark is the one that looks like that. It's just to the left of the enter key. If you hold the shift down, it's a double quote if you click it. If you don't hold the shift down, it's a single quote. That's the single quote. And then type 77112. And that's what they want me to enter. Now, this will still look like 77112, but it won't be it won't be able to be used as a calculation then. All right, so I just enter and it's done. All right, task number 6. Enter the number 491 in cell D6. So here is column D. Here is row 6. Here's where they match up. So they typed a number in B6. They typed a number in C6, but they didn't type anything in D6. They want us to type something here, and the something is 491. But this time, they don't want it as a text field. So that's why they're saying the number. So we type just like we normally do. So 491 on the keyboard with no, you don't put a single quote or double quote or anything else. So you type 491 and enter. All right, last one for me. There's 38 tasks. I'm doing 7 of them. All right, so in cell B16, create a formula using the sum function to total the values in the range B4 to B15. All right. So this is, finally something where you're doing a calculation. But again, on your exam, you're going to have to do some of those things where it told you to do some other things as well. Like you may have to enter a number, but as text. You may have to center align something. You may have to use word wrap on something. You may have to use, word wrap. You may have to use the orientation where you change the way text is lined up. Okay. But whatever, you just do it based on what you did in training, and this is the training. All right, anyway, so in cell B16, so there's B, here's 16. Okay, so B16, look in the name box to verify. B16, and it says name box. Okay, all right, create a formula. To create a formula, you start with the equal sign. So I type equal sign, okay, equal. And then if they're telling me to use the sum function, that means I have to literally type out SUM that way, okay? But you also get a sum function. You also get a sum function by using the auto sum if you want to, all right? So I'll just do it this way. So equal sum, open parentheses, and then they said from the range B4 to B15. So I click in B4 and just drag it down to B15. This is one way. And then close the parentheses. So equal sum, open parentheses, B4 colon B15 means enter the sum from B4 down to B15 and enter. Okay. I also could have done it with the sum function, and I'll show you that one. I'll just go back to it and then I'll leave this module. So I'll go back here just to show you one other way. An even easier way to do the same one, okay, is to click in B16 like I did there, B16, and again, check the name box, and then go over here to the auto sum area on the top right of the editing tab in the home group. So auto sum, click the down arrow, sum. It'll automatically tell you that it thinks when you see this thing, which is called a rolling marquee, when you see all this, what looks like to be a, text moving, or not text moving, but I mean the cell framework or whatever moving around, it's like saying, I think you want this. If that is what you want, then just enter it. And it is what I want, so just enter it. So you see, they actually knew what I wanted. Okay, all right, now get out of this particular one. So I think I'm going to click that. Now get out of that part of Excel and go back to module, not go back, but now go to module 2. Okay, all right, now let me see here. Excuse me a second, I'm going to have a piece of candy. All right, so now I'm going to start module 2. So there were 38 tasks in the first module. This one is 23. So that makes us at 61 so far. Wrap the text in cell A6 so that all the text is visible in the cell. So here's A and here's 6. So if I click it, you see that you cannot see all the text, all the words in the cell. If you look up here in the formula bar, you can see it says Anderson Wireless Communications, but we don't see the communications part. Well, we only see the CO and part of the M. So what we need to do is wrap the text, and that is up here where it says wrap text on the home tab. So wrap the text. It then makes all the text fit in that cell. Now, use flash fill to fill the range from E4 to E15 after typing curtis.g@rockland.com in cell E4 and SAL in cell E5. So what this is going to do basically is set up an email, okay, obviously an email address. Curtis is this person's last name. .g is the first letter of his first name, and then @ and then in lowercase rockland.com. Okay, but after we do this one, they want us to type SAL in the next one, and then it's saying that flash fill is going to take over. What flash fill will do is see that Sal is for Salazar, okay, which is the next person's last name, and then for here, sorry, Salazar, and then it'll put his, or in this case, her first letter, Allison, so it'll be A, and then it's going to do that for all the others just by what's called flash fill, okay? So it says in cell E4, which is where I am now, check your name box, E4, type, so capital C and then Curtis dot capital G @rockland.com, okay? So enter that. Then you're now in cell E5, and they say type Sal, capital S, S-A-L. They don't mean Sal like Sal as a name, I mean as a first name, but Salazar happens to then come up, point or period or .a @rockland.com. So all that was done with flash fill. So I just say enter. Done. All right, next one. Enter a formula using arithmetic operators and parentheses in cell B14 that adds the monthly expenses in cells B9, B10, and B11, and then multiplies that result by 12. Okay, this one is using a formula, but it's not a function. So I don't type equal sum. I don't type equal PMT. I don't type equal MAX or equal COUNT. I don't type equal and any function. What you can also do is just equal and then put the cells in, okay? But they said they want us to use addition and then multiply the results after the addition is done by 12. And that's why they want us to use parentheses, okay? What parentheses is going to do is change what's called the order of operation in math. In math, the order of operation means that multiplication and division are higher than addition and subtraction. That's the easy part of it, okay? There's other things too. But anything you put within parentheses changes the order of operations. All right, so let's just go and do this. So they're saying in enter formula in cell B14. So here's B and here's 14. So I'm in B14. Again, verify you're in the right cell, okay? All right, first they want me to add up B9, B10, and B11. I have to put them in parentheses because otherwise when I multiply it by 12, I'm not going to be multiplying the total, all right? So I'm going to click in here and say equal. Remember, there's no function, so I'm not going to put equal sum. I'm just going to say equal, and then I can either type these names or point and click. I'll point and click. So I'll point and click at B9, and now it says B9. Then I'm going to put plus, oh, sorry, I actually want to put a parenthesis first. So equal, open, okay? and then point and click at B9, and then a plus, and then point and click at B10. Alternatively, you can just type equal, open parenthesis, B9 plus B10 plus, and type B11. You can do it that way, that's fine. If you do it the way I'm doing it, you start with equal, and then open parenthesis, B9 plus B10 plus B11, and then close the parenthesis. And then you want to multiply that by 12. Multiplication in Excel is an asterisk, okay? It only rolled because the cell contents for this particular cell doesn't let the asterisk fit, but I didn't enter. I mean, I didn't like go to a new line, that just rolled. Like if I made this B column width wider by making it clicking right here and dragging over, I'd have more room, but I don't want to do it just in case it then marks it as wrong. So times, and then they said the number 12, so 12, okay? So equal open, B9 plus B10 plus B11 close. What that does is it adds B9 and B10 and B11. So it goes 15 and 6 is 21, 21 and 6 is 21,600, and then 21,640. That's what that does. And then it's going to multiply that answer times 12. Okay, so there we go, and it's done. All right. Now, task 4 for number module 2. In cell B19, so let's go to B19. So here we are again, B19. Create a formula by entering cell references that subtracts cell B6 from B5 and then subtracts cell B18. So this is the same thing, except we're not having to use parentheses. So they didn't say use parentheses, okay? That's because it doesn't matter. All we're doing is we're doing 2 subtractions, okay? So we click here, but again, we're not using a function. They didn't say to use a function, so I just use equal sign and then the cells. So you have to read carefully when it's subtracting though, because it says in cell B19, that's where I am. There's the name box. It says B19. Create a formula by entering cell references that subtracts B6 from B5. So if it subtracts B6 from B5, that means it's B5 minus B6. I'm going to point and click. Again, you can just type them in or do point and click, all right? So equals B5, the dash sign is the minus, and then put B6, and again, verify. I'm in B19, B19, there's the name box, oops, sorry, because what I just clicked on, but I'm in B19. So B5 minus B6, and then it says subtracts cell B18. So then I just minus B18. And then I can point and click at B18, okay? And close. I don't need to close because I didn't open this time. So equals B5, which is revenue, minus the cost, which is this number, and then minus this number to get the net income. Enter. And it's correct, or it wouldn't have gone to the next one. All right, number 5. Now, in cell D19, so here's D, here's 19. Again, look at my name box, D19. Create a formula. Now here it's saying, see, use a function though again. If it says a function, you have to type whatever the function is in the formula, okay? So equal count, that's a function, all right? If you use a function, you need a open parenthesis after the function. And then it says, so create a formula to count the number of values in the range D5 to D18. So then I just want to select from D5 to D18. I can just do this. Click D5 and drag. Hold your mouse button down, your left mouse button down, and go down to D18. And now we have equal count. Open the parentheses. D5 colon D18 means from D5 through D18. Close the parentheses. And this is not going to add them up. It's not a sum. Count means how many cells are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. So there's going to be 14 as the answer. Okay? All right. Now number 6. In cell F19 again, cell F19. All right, so down here, I don't know if that's again, actually, it's not. Anyway, in cell F19, create a formula. Now here it's using the count A function, okay? So again, in F19. Name box says I'm in F19, right there. Okay, so equal. This is a function, so you type count A. The count A function is used when you want to find out the number of, in this case, it is still a count, meaning how many cells are there in this range. It's not adding up these phone numbers. It's just equal count. But the ones that don't have any space and anything in them, they don't want to count. So they only want to count the ones that have data in them. Okay, so equal count A, and then F5 down to F18, and then close the open parentheses. Okay, so equal count A, open the parentheses, and then I click this one. They happen to call this range of numbers phone. That's why it pops up a little bit differently looking, but I'll show you how to do that at some point. I know in the trainings you're going to talk about it. Otherwise, you're going to do it in the ones you do. But anyway, equal count A, open parentheses, and then I dragged down from F5 through F18. But this answer won't include, so it won't be 14 like the other. It'll be 14 minus 1 is 13, minus 2 is 12, minus 1. So this one will be 11 because those three with nothing in them don't count. 11, okay? All right, so that was, I do one more. I said I'd do 7. For range B4 through B15, create a new conditional formatting rule that formats the top 5 values in the range with a blue accent 5 cell background color, which is the 9th column, 1st row in the background color palette. Okay, so in this case, I'm not typing a formula, I'm typing a rule, a formatting rule. So I have to select the range, that's B4 to B15. So I click in B4, drag down to B15. Okay, verify B, this is 4, it's got the green left border, the green right border, the green top border, you may not see, but it is, and then down to B15. Okay, so all of them are selected. Now it says create a new conditional formatting rule. Well, up on your ribbon in the Home tab is formatting rules. So let me put this here so I can then go into it, maybe a little closer. Okay, so I click this, and now it's a top. They said top 5. So here's top and bottom, not data, not color, not icon, not these, blah, blah, but top. Then there's top 10. That's not what they want. They want top 5. Top 10%, that's not what they want. Not bottom 10, not bottom 10%, not above average. They don't want any of them. So now it's going to be more rules. And now that I want the top 5. So I changed this 10 to a 5. But now let me make sure I click everything that they want. So I'm in the range B4 to B15. I'm creating a rule, and I said it's top 5, but not top 5%. It's top 5 values. That means if there's 11 cells in here, let's just say, I don't know how many it is, but let's say it's 11, then the highest 5 would be the ones that count. Top 5 would be, so this 30 something, this 30 something, this 30. So for sure those 3 are in the top 5. They're the only ones that in the 30s. So then there's be 2 more. So it's like the highest up to 20s. 27 looks like that was going to be in it. And 26 looks like, yeah, that's higher than that one. So 26 and above are the 5, okay? But anyway, so there's the top 5, but now what? With a blue accent 5 cell background. So it's not font color. So I got to go to format. So I got to format this stuff. And a fill color, right? Fill color, because it's not font, it's the background. And they want the 9th column, 1st row in the background color palette. So here's background color. 1st row is this one, 9th column. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hover on it. Blue accent 5, and it says blue accent 5, so it's that one. Okay, then that just shows you. You say OK. Then that brings us back to the previous pop-up box because we clicked a couple times in it. So then we just say OK again, and it's done. And you see they're in a blue background, the top 5. All right, so that was 7 and number 2. So now let's get out of that one, and I'll move on over to Module 3. Module 3, training. So this one, there are, let's see, start. So far we've got 38 and 23, and I'll write this one down, 44. Okay, so 38, that's 58, 61, and 40 is 101 and 4. 105 so far. Okay, make this big again. All right, so rotate the contents up the cells in range A3 to D3 to exactly 45 degrees. So first of all, again, the range, A3 through D3. So here is A3. Look in the name box, A3. And here's D3. So they want me to click in A3 and drag over so that all four of those cells, A3, B3, C3, and D3 are selected. Okay, so they're selected. Now they want me to rotate these, and that's from this orientation area. This thing here is orientation, okay? So orientation, 45 degrees actually is this. So if I click it, it should be right. Okay, it would be right. But they're telling me to do it a manual way, so I'm guessing they won't count that right. So let me just see, just to verify. Okay, angle counterclockwise is the one. Let me see. To exactly 45. That's 45 degrees, so I'm going to say it's this one. Yeah, it's correct actually, but they're not letting me do it that way because they want you to see what you have to do. So I'm going to go into it, and then I will go to Format Cell Alignment. Okay, move this down. Okay, let's see. So it's exactly 45 degrees. Again, I can just click right here, and it would be right, but they might not let me do it because they're saying something about degree marker. The degree marker is this. Well, that's indent. It's not indent, so it's this. But if I have to click this 45 times, that's kind of, that's silly. But I'll go ahead and do it. I'll just keep it down to go faster. All right, so that's 45. This should work, but you notice it's exactly where I said. Because the way, I don't know if you know, like a circle, if you divide a circle into 4 exact sections, the first section is from 0 to 90. This is 90. The next section is from 90 to 180. The next section is from 180 to 270, and 270 would be just to the left of the 45. And then from 270, the next one goes back to 0, so it's 0 and 360. So they're all, in other words, 90 degrees. If you look at a clock, it's like 12, 3, 6, 9, and back to 12, okay? But I'm certain I could have just clicked right here, but I don't know if they would let me get it correct that way. So remember what I did is I clicked in the degrees box because they mentioned the degree marker and the degrees. Okay, so I'll say okay. Yeah, that's probably the only way they'll let that happen, but you can try it another way. Anyway, all right, that's that one. Now, align the contents of cell B4 vertically using the bottom align. So the bottom align is a nice, easy thing to do. Okay, so let's go over here. So first of all, it's B4. So there's B and here's 4. Oh, okay, yeah, if you look, you see client ID is lower. Company name, see, it's way at the top. Manager ID is lower. Contact first is lower. Contact last, I mean, they look lower. You might not really see it actually, but here, like email address for sure is at the bottom. Phone, street, city, state, zip, they're all at the very bottom. But company name is way at the top. So they're wanting it to be now at the bottom, all right? So bottom align is these. So this is the top align, this is the center align, or middle align, and this is the bottom align, okay? Done. All right, number 3. Use the autofill feature to fill the range A4 to A15 with the names of the months in chronological order, starting with January in cell A4. This is something I demonstrated in the class overview video, and many of the other things, by the way, I've done thus far, in these trainings, I also did over there. So that's a good thing for you to watch as well. All right, so use the auto cell to fill the range A4 to A15 with the names of the months in chronological order, starting with January in A4. So first of all, in A4, I have to type January. Okay. Now, if you want to use autofill, you first type whatever they tell you to type and enter it. So I hit January and then I entered. Then that brought me down to the next cell, which is A5, but then I have to click back in A4. because you have to have entered the text. And when you enter it, you go down to the next. So then you click back here to be where you started. So use the autofill feature. The autofill is that fill handle. And I also talked about this in the class overview, the Excel overview video. But just to the left of my vertical top center part of the bar, like right there is the fill handle. Okay. So as you get closer, it's the fill handle. When I'm right on it, it's still the fill handle. So what you do is you click on it, and then you click and hold the clicker in and drag down to A15, okay? And you notice to the right of each one, it's telling what month is going to be there. Right now it says December, November. Okay, all these months are showing up, see? So I want to go through A15, and once I release, you're going to see January, February, March, April, all the way to December right there, okay? Okay, let me show you that one more time because that's very, very important and very easy to do. So I'll go back to number 3. Okay, and again, I demonstrated this in the overview video, Excel overview. So first thing you have to do is you type the name of the month, and you have to type it correctly. So if you mess up on your typing, then the autofill can't do anything. So then you enter it. When you enter, it goes to the next cell. But you have to go back to the cell that you typed January. So now I'm in that cell. And then the very right side of the cell. Now this is like resizing, realigning, all that kind of stuff. This is just the selection grid. That's the resize one. This is the fill handle when it gets to be a thin, very thin black plus sign. Okay, so you take that, you click it. You click with your left mouse button, hold it in, and then drag down like it says from A4. So make sure you're in A4 and then go down to A15. Once you release, then all those months appear. Okay, all right. Next, fill the series in the range B5 to F5 using a growth trend with a step value of 1.1. So here they're asking us to do a similar thing with the fill handle, but here they're wanting us to do what they call a series and a growth. All right. So how are we going to do this one? Well, so first of all, same thing. It's B5 to F5. So here's B, here's 5, and there's B5, F5. So I'm going from left to right. So this is where I want these numbers to appear. So in B, we already have data from 2019. Now, obviously, this program, even though it's Office 2019, it's now late in, well, actually, it's already in 2022 too. I was going to say it's late in fall. Anyway. So, but basically, they want this number in for 2020 to be higher by a value of 1.1. Well, if it's 1, that means it's the same number. So it'd be 85. So the 0.1 means it's 10% more. So 10% off that is 8,500. So if you add 8,500 to 85, then it's 93.5. So here it would be 93.5. Then you take the step. So the 1 is the 93.5. The 10% is the 93.50. You add them together, and then that'll be for here. Do the same thing, and then here you get the last one. Okay, but all we have to do is, let me think. So fill in the series using a growth trend. So I set the range up. So I start with B5 and go there. All right, that's number 1. So now I want to go ahead and I want to do it's a fill. So it's this fill over here. Let me get that off the ribbon. So I'm on the Home tab, and it's the fill. Okay. Now I want to do a series. You see, here's the button for series. So fill series. Okay. And they want it to be it's rows, because rows go from left to right. Columns go up and down. So I've got rows. Well, they already had that selected, so that's correct. But they have linear. We want it to be growth. See, a growth trend. So growth. Okay. We're not using date units in this thing. That's irrelevant. And it's a growth trend. So I guess I'll click this trend. Oh no. And when you click it, it disables it. I have to put my trend. So the step value, sorry, is 1.1. Now maybe I click the trend to select it so that it's fixed. And then I just say OK. All right. So I selected the range B5 to F5. Then I clicked in the fill. In the fill, one of the lower choices said series. I clicked series. Then I came here. Rows was already selected. I changed it to growth, which is what they said, your growth trend. And the step value, it says step value 1.1. And then I put this checkbox. I probably don't need to, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because that then disables everything else. And then you say, okay. Oh, no, they didn't want that, I bet. All right, let's see. So let's see. So they still leave what I selected because that part's correct. So fill. Oops, sorry. Fill. Move this down. Series. Okay. So row growth 1.1. I really should have been able to put this thing there. But I guess because I really don't know why actually, but anyway, I won't do it this time. So rows growth 1.1, okay. Yeah, that's what they wanted. So I added one step that technically was okay, but they just didn't want it. All right, so that's we're on number 5, and I said I'd do 7. Use autofill to fill the range from D12 through D19 with only the formatting. Okay, so D12 through D19. So you click D12 down through D19. Oh, sorry, from D1. Let's see. Use autofill to fill the range with only the formatting from D11. Okay, so I actually have to start with D11 because I am going to want that formatting. But I want to apply it to here. Yeah, because that way we already have. Okay, so select D11 to D19. Okay, because we want to take this formatting. The formatting means the $sign. So that means it's the accounting number format. The accounting number is this one up here in the number group. If you see where I'm hovering on top of the $sign, it says accounting number format. So they want the accounting number format, okay, which will take this $sign and apply it to the ones that don't have it down below. But this is going to do something that's wrong, I think. So I'll have to fix something else after, because when you use this number by itself as that, it's going to assume that's what we want everywhere. But anyway, so let's do now. So I'm going to take it. Actually, I said all that. You don't do that. Anytime you want to do a fill, you start with the first one. So D11, and now I have to fill it. That's the fill handle. Remember the thin black plus sign when it's over the green square in the lower right part of the cell. So that drag down. See, it's all 57.5 now, but it's putting the $sign. So that part's right. Okay, so that's wrong but right. All right, so 57,500. But they're now saying, okay, that's why they're saying it, because here we'll fix it. Okay, so actually that is right, but you got to remember there's now another step. So now in this box here, which is autofill options, we click it, and we want only the formatting. So we don't want to fill the series. We don't want to fill without. We don't want flash fill. We want to fill formatting only. That means it won't copy the 57,500. It'll leave whatever numbers were already there, but it'll keep the formatting with the $sign. So fill formatting only. Now you see the $signs and the original number, so that is correct. All right, so that's number, I guess that was number 5. All right, number 6. Let's see here. Indent the contents of the range A11 through A19 by a single indentation level. Okay, so I have to select from A11. So here's A, 11 through 19. Okay, I see. Like if you look at cost, there's 2 things indented, which means gross profit and gross profit margin are part of this cost, right? So here, operating expenses, see, is way over on the left. And they want these things indented, like cost had these 2 indented. So I select A11 to A19. Okay, so indents are right here, the alignment group. So that's decrease. We want to increase. So I just click it once, and it moves it over 1 tab level, basically. So click it, and see it moved in a little bit. Okay, so the last one for this one is task 7. Move the contents of cell F11 to cell A17. So F is here, 11, that's 10. This is 11. So now they're saying move, not copy. So move means you cut it, right? So you can do it up here with the cut, and then do the paste. I'll just do the control copy, control X. So control X means cut it. Make sure I'm in the right one. I am. So control X. So that's going to cut that. That's the rolling marquee that I talked about in that other one, right? We're just, it's saying, yeah, I think you want this. And I said, yeah, that is what I want. And then they want me to put this in A. So here's A 17. So put that down there. So control V like Victor. Okay. You also could have done it from the clipboard if you prefer. All right. Anyway, that's 7. So that one is done. And that was module 3. So now I'm going to go to module 4. Let's see, out of there. At module 4, training. All right. Now start this one. All right. Group the October, November, and December. Oh, let me make it bigger again. Sorry. Group the October, November, and December worksheets. Okay, so here, in this case, we have 3 different worksheets. So this is a little bit more advanced stuff now. Of course, 2 and 3 were a little more advanced than 1. But anyway, so to group things, what you do is you click on them, like you point and click on that one, and then hold the shift key down to hold November and also December if you want, or you can probably do it by holding the control key. But they're all selected. See, they all have the green border. Okay, so that means they're grouped. So I've grouped them. Now, in cell B9 on the October sheet, I know I'm on the October sheet because it doesn't have a top. This one has a top, like a top border and a top border. This one means it's open, so to speak, so we're on it. Okay? All right. Now, so in cell B9, so on this one in B9, which is here, look in the name box, I'm in B9, so B and 9. Okay. Group. Oh, okay, you know what this is doing? What this thing is doing is if I click the November and December afterwards, because I've grouped them, they also have numbers in here, in all likelihood anyway. And when I do this formula here, what they're telling me to do here, okay, it will also put the same formula in November and December, okay? And it's a pretty cool thing. There's other ways to do that, but that's all right. All right. So group. So I'm in there. I'm in B9. Now they want me to use the auto sum. The auto sum is this one up here. Okay. So I'm going to click in there, and they want me to use the auto sum to total the values in B6 to B8. So there's B6, 7, and 8. Okay. So auto sum. When you click sum, anytime you use the auto sum, Excel is making an assumption, and it gives you its assumption in what's circling around here. Not really circling, I guess, but was sort of circling in a rectangular fashion. But anyway, it's saying, I think you want to sum these 3 values, these 3 cells. And it said B6 through B8. Well, they said B6 through B8. So yes, that's what I want to do. So I enter. And when I enter it, let's see, to total it, I did. I'm going to enter again. I'm not sure if I did something, didn't do it right maybe. Equal sum B6 to B8. All right, let's see, group the worksheets, I did that. Then in B9, and I'm in October because there's no top to that one. Total the values in range B6 to B8. That's B6, B7, B8. For sure I did that. I don't know why it's not. Anyway, ungroup, maybe it'll do it when I ungroup the worksheets. So then to ungroup the worksheets, you right click on them. Okay, yeah. Right click. Oh, all right. I didn't think I clicked ungroup, but apparently I did. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to do it. Well, no, I can't do it again because now I'm on a different task. No, I'm not. Actually, wait a minute. No, I don't know what I did. All right. I'm going to, whoops. No. Okay. So let me, how the heck do I start this task again? Group. So October and November are grouped, but December is not for some reason. So I'm going to hold the shift key down and enter. Okay. All right. Let me just click here. No, I can't. All right. Click there. All right. I'm just going to shut it down. Do this one again because there's something happening. All right. So here. Oh my. I can't do anything in this one. So it's either my computer or it. Oh, you know what? Let me go to this. I'm just going to move to the second one, but just move back to the first one so I can start fresh. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so now I have to select all three of those sheets. So this one, I'm going to hold my, I'm going to do it with the control key this time. Control key and control key. All right, so I held the control key down, the CTRL key, and clicked October, then I clicked November, then I clicked December. Again, though, I see October does not have a top. So for sure, this is where I was in the other time, a few minutes ago. Then it says group, so they're grouped. Then in cell B9, so here's B9, and I know I clicked B9. Use the auto sum button. Remember, here's the auto sum button, and it says to total the values. The total means sum. So there's the sum, okay? And it's from B6 to B8, so I just enter it. Okay, this time it took. For some reason, last time it didn't. Maybe the December I did something and it unclicked, because in this case, I don't really know. But either way, that's what it does. That's what you do. And then if you right click on them and then you select ungroup sheets. Okay. So I'll do that one more time, even though I don't want to keep wasting a lot of time on these because they take a long time to do. So let's go back to that one, do it one more time. All right. So first thing, I'm holding my control key, clicking October, holding the control key, clicking November, holding the control key and clicking the December sheet. So all three sheets are now grouped. Okay. The October one seems to, wait, maybe October's not, what's in it? All right, they're all selected. October, I don't know now, it seems like maybe I'm not in October. Maybe that's where I messed up. Because now I see it. Anyway, I don't know. I'm going to assume I'm in October. All right, so now I'm going to click from in here. Sorry, then they want me to auto sum. Wait, this already has the auto sum now. There's auto sum. This doesn't have the data now. Oh my God. No, I'm going to get out again. There's something going on here. I'm going to just get out of this one. I mean, I did do it. Something is bizarre on that one though. So if you have issues with it, just let me know. Okay, so now I'm on number 2 because I really want to, I don't want this to go on forever. Okay, so in cell B6, enter a formula using defined names to subtract direct costs from revenues. Okay, so in B6, here's B and here's 6. So they want me to they're saying they have used names, defined names, and for direct costs, it's B5. Here it says direct costs. So this thing is called direct costs, basically. And revenues is B4, okay? So here I have to do a formula, but to find names and define names, you go into the formulas tab, and here see defining a name, here's name manager. If I click the name manager, okay, see it shows direct costs and it shows revenues as names, okay? So I'm assuming I can do it either with the names or with the cell address, but they're saying using defined names. So I have to type the names. Okay, so I'm going to say equal, and then let's see. So from revenues. So it's revenues minus direct costs. So revenues to me is the top one. So I'm going to say equal revenues. Now you see how it pops up? Double click it. So equals revenues, and then space minus space, and then type direct costs. Direct costs, and again it's already up, so let's just double click it. Okay, so equal revenues minus direct costs, and enter. Okay, done. All right, number 3, share the current workbook on OneDrive with user1@cengage.com and add the message, please approve for distribution with the emailed workbook link. All right, that's a lot. Let's see. Share. So go to my file, share, okay. All right, let's see. So file share the current workbook on OneDrive with user1 at. Anyone with the link can edit, okay. Anyone with the link can edit, I think. And it's this person, so apply that. Oops, no. Okay, let's see. Share the current workbook. So I'm already, they let me stay from the file and the share. So this is correct. Share the current workbook with user1@Cengage. So it's anyone with the link or with specific people. But you're sending him the link. So to me, you have to have it anyone with the link. Oh, anyone with the link is that. So maybe now I say specific people. Let's see. specific people, allow editing, apply. Okay, yeah, here I type the message, no, the person, user one, and type a capital U, so user one, and then at, and then you got cengage.com in small letters. Okay, so that, enter that. Now add a message. Add a message. So here's the add a message. Please approve for distribution. Please approve for distribution. And there's no period. Okay, so that, and then send. Yeah. Okay, that one was quite a bit, but you can do the observe and practice, because I again right now I want to keep going. All right. I said I'd do till 7. Assign the defined name sales 2020 to this range. All right, so here I got to go to formulas. Assign the defined name sales 2020 to range. So I have to come up with the range first. So C5 to C13. Okay, this range here from C5 through C13, I want to call that sales 2020. Okay, so define name. So define name. And I want to see, it's got my range. The C5 to C13 is there. I type now sales with a capital S, whoops, sales with a capital S, 2020, no space. The $ basically just means it's an absolute value. That'll be talked about probably somewhere in your worksheet. You can always ask me in class. But what it means is always use the same column. And that's with the $C, $5 means always use that one. And then always use through $C, $13 means always use this range, never any other range. That's what that means. Anyway, so okay. All right, done. All right, number 5. I'm certain this has been an hour or more, but anyway, we'll see. All right, create a defined name for range A4 to E18. I just did one of these. Well, this is create from selection, so a little different. All right, so create a defined names for range A4 to E18. So here, A4 to E18. So right here to right here. It's weird that they don't want me to go to H. Create defined names for range A4 to E18. Okay, so A4, but go down and over to E18 there. That's what they want. So they want the first 5 columns down until the 8th row. So create defined names for the range A4 to E18. Here is A4. Here is E18. So that means they're all selected. So A4 through E18. And they're saying create from selection. So again, I had to go into formulas. Create from selection. Okay. Create from selection. All right. Create from selection. Use the titles in the top row. So these are the titles. So the top row. So top row was already picked. I didn't pick that. So that was there. Select the years range using the name box. So just say OK. And then they want me to do one more step. Select the years range using the name box. The name box, remember, is this thing over here. So I guess they just want us to know how to find like the years range. So you click in here and there's years. So you click it and then it selected it. See? All right, done. All right, number 6. 2 to go. This one and number 7. Save the current workbook as an Excel workbook with project sales as a new file name. Well, that's sure easy. And store the new file in the documents folder. So save the current workbook as an Excel workbook. All right, so file, save as. Okay, so they want me in the documents folder. So just double click on this PC and then double click on documents to make sure you're there. You are. Okay, so I'm in the documents folder. And then call this project space sales. So project space sales as an Excel workbook. It is an Excel workbook, so that means it's going to add the .xlsx for us. So it's just project sales, and then just save it. Okay, nice and easy, that one. All right, last one for me. All right, in cell B9, so here's B and here's 9. Create a formula using the payment function. All right, payment function, I think I demonstrated in class one day, but anyway, so equal PMT. Okay, so equal PMT to calculate the monthly loan amount using interest rate and loan period values in cells B4 to E8. Enter the formula with a negative sign to return. Okay, they want it to be a positive. If I do this without a negative sign, it's a negative. To make a negative a positive, you make it a negative. So equal minus PMT is what you do. So equal minus PMT, then an open parenthesis. And now we're using the values in B4 to B8, but we have to pick what we're going to choose. So the first one is the rate. Well, here's interest rate, but there's another one with interest rate. So there's actually two. The one I demonstrated with you guys is only one. Now, normally you make payments every month, but some loans, maybe there's an annual interest rate. So I don't want to use the APR, which stands for annual percentage rate, because if I'm the one that has this loan, I pay it every month. So I'm going to click this one, and then that is the one assigned for rate. Then I do a comma, and then N per becomes in bold. N per stands for number of periods, which is obviously the same thing as number of payments. So I used monthly for the interest rate, so I want to use monthly for the payments. In other words, 4 years equals 48 months, but you don't pay it every year. You pay it, like if you have a car loan, you pay it every month. So this is the one I want here. So then another comma, and then present value. The present value is how much you're borrowing, okay, how much it's going to cost you. So I click on this one, all right? And then the others have brackets. That means they're optional, so they're not being used. So close my parentheses and enter. Done. All right, so that is it. I'll do that one more quick time, just because that's a tricky, well, not really tricky, it's actually pretty easy. But anyway, all right, so in cell B9, create a formula. So here's B and here's 9. The tricky part was it says enter the formula with a negative sign. So that just means you got to say in your start of your formula, equal minus, okay, equal minus, and it's a payment function, so you got to type PMT. And then an open parenthesis. It's okay if you type these in small, by the way, the functions. They'll fix themselves. So equal minus PMT open. And then again, I'm on the interest rate. So I can pick, it's probably my choice. Like if I pick this APR one, then I'd have to pick the payment period in years to do it. But I'd rather you guys do it the way it's normally done, and that's monthly. So click monthly. Okay, so monthly for the rate, comma. And then for the end period, number of periods, in other words, you want the same thing, monthly. So click the one with months. So that's that one. And then comma. The comma sets aside to the next value, and then present value is how much are you borrowing in this case. So that, and then you close the parentheses and enter, and it's done. All right, so that is it. I'm going to stop. I've done 7 in each of those. One was kind of tricky, but it, I think, did work. It worked one time. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go in here. Stop my recording. Have a great day, guys. I shall see you in class.